No, I don't, nothing out of the ordinary.
All those in favor, say aye. City financial officer report. Okay, I handed you our revenues and expenditures compared to budget. If you look at the revenues first, you will see that we are looking pretty good. We've got, I'm going to make sure I'm looking at the right report here. Okay. Our year-to-date is a little over what we were anticipating, so that's good. And we've got another month. Next month, I will bring you what we've done for the year, and I'll do a comparison to last year. And then our expenditures, you'll see we're way over budget, but the reason for that is when we do projects, you'll see in capital improvement, that's where we're way over budget. But that is because we do the work, Rick puts in the payment requests, and then we get the money back, and we're still receiving money for that. So that will be fine. We aren't as bad as it looks. So, do you have any questions on anything?
Yeah, for our daily operations, I ran the numbers this morning, and we're right at about 42% of our budget, so we're actually sitting in good shape.
Yeah.
Just those receivables, when we get those big payment, remember, every time you guys ask, well, geez, that's a big payment, we just don't have that noted into the revenues yet. I mean, they just offset each other. So we're only showing the payment side of it. So I think I feel pretty good where we're at. Like I said, we've been watching our spending in all of our departments, and I think across the board, the city as a whole is probably doing rather well.
Yeah, we are. I don't have any solid numbers on shutoffs. Our shutoff date is today. We did not get everybody contacted. There's some more calling to do this morning. I should have solid number on about 8 o'clock. So if you want me to email that to you, I can. Would you like to see those numbers? The shutoff.
Shut-off day is today.
It's shut-off day today.
Non-payment.
So, yeah, for non-payment delinquent. So I can email that. Okay, all right.
Annually, would we often have at this time of year?
Probably, I mean, on a good month, we'll have a half dozen or less. Usually when it comes down to generating the list, we usually have 4 or 5 pages, and the finance team does a really good job of calling and getting, and they usually have it whittled down to just a few. And keep in mind that in order to make it on the shut-off list, you're in the rears at least 3 months. So again, it's not really a surprise because every month you're being notified, from the original month.
Right.
So,
Is this year an average year on?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You're behind?
yeah.
Unfortunately, it's this, you can almost predict every 3 months. You get to know the addresses that you're going to it, so.
And then when they pay, they're not paying for the 3 months, they're paying for.
Well, there's different options on how they can get current.
Yeah, normally they'll just do their past due so that they can get off the list. That's usually what happens.
2 or 3 pages of names?
Usually 3 or 4, yeah.
Yep.
It's, whether people just forget or, again, it's hard to justify because in order to get on the list, you're at least 3 months behind. So, you can see like, geez, I forgot to pay this month, but the fact that you make it on our list, you're 3 months delinquent.
Next month too, we'll have write-offs. We've got to work through that and get the write-offs, and you'll look at those and you'll need to approve those. So that'll be our next step. Okay, all right, that's all I've got.
quick deal on bills too. You'll see some odd ones come through that are unfortunately out of my hands. It's our warranty for meter stuff. I just realized we're at their mercy when they send stuff back and it's prorated. That's maybe Fran and Rick as well. We send stuff in and there's no rhyme or reason when we get it back. It's usually small numbers, but this time of year, it's hard for them to finish their books when you have these straight random invoices showing up. But there is a warranty on many of our meters, so.
I'm not understanding what you're saying. You send stuff in because it's broken and we have a warranty?
Yes,
Why would that affect our finances?
because it's prorated. It's a 10-year warranty, so if it's 5 years old, you don't get 100%. We have to pay.
We pay for the whole meter amount to replace it, but we're getting a prorated piece, so you're spending more than what your revenue, it doesn't balance. So if a new meter costs me $100 and I send one in for warranty and they only give me $25 credit for it because it's been prorated out, that meter still cost me $75 that wasn't budgeted.
So essentially, when you send a meter in, it's used up and no good anymore.
Most of the time.
You don't send them all
Oh, you
in.
wouldn't send them in if
I mean, they have to fit the parameters of the warranty work, whether it's a battery or, generally that's the thing, is it's batteries.
So replacing a meter with a new one,
That's why we have a line item in our budget for meter replacement. We kind of straight off, but
it doesn't even come close to the cost of a new one. And you're at, do you plan for so many meters?
no, that does not, it doesn't even factor into the budgeting process because we budget to replace X amount of meters a year. The warranty has really nothing to do with our
It isn't a
budget.
huge amount. There's not that many that fail. It's just one of the items, I guess I wanted to point out maybe more to Ann and Rick, that I have no control over when the company.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect your budget. I mean, because you've already budgeted for so many meters. Every year we budget to replace meters. And we don't, when we put that budget together, we don't, we figure that we anticipate getting zero. So,
Yeah, but it's just an added perk. So, beyond that, we've resubmitted our lead and copper, spreadsheet to the state. And instead of 2,400 notifications as last year, we're down to 1,272 notifications to hand deliver this year. We're on our way. We've got a couple hundred done. And we're gonna do this until we have all the unknowns found, and even then, with the galvanized lines, we may end up handing notifications out until 2037, at which point they claim they're gonna enforce us to replace ours and them to replace theirs. So with that, I have a piece of galvanized to show you to kind of explain a little bit.
Is this regarding that?
So the rule states that if you have an unknown on either side of a galvanized line, it needs replaced. This is a piece that we pulled out. I mean, you can see there was where a leak was, okay? So these tubercules grow on it. That was gonna be a leak, just exposed to the daylight while we were working, that popped off, that would leak. I mean, so the moral to the story here is, you're not required to replace it yet, but the soil conditions here, I would recommend it. I mean, anyone who knows that they have galvanized, I mean, try to come up with a way. It's not necessarily dangerous. I mean, the lead isn't our concern. We are 100% compliant in all of our testing. It's just the EPA has a blanket rule causing us to have to notify people. This is more bring attention to it that it's not if it's gonna leak, it's when it's gonna leak. It's been in the ground a long time and it's basically rotting away.
and on the end, point out Todd, that's copper, that's what we want the entire line to be.
Unfortunately, that's half-inch copper, but yes. And you can see, I mean, there's a conglomeration of fittings. This is, once again, this was a mess of a repair. But this isn't even compliant at this point now. Since it's in the ground, it's fine, it all is. But if you want water at volume, you need to upsize, and these are your issues. I mean, this is actually a decent shape compared to some we pulled out.
You know, it strikes me, this would be a great example to show the public. How would you do that? Could you set up a display in the library or somewhere where they're just walking by and then they know what happens? I mean, physically, that's an impression that people understand what's happening.
I think the only issue I'd have with that is without somebody there to give a proper explanation, it might cause other issues.
Maybe you could put an article in the paper with a picture.
The other problem we run into is each home may or may not be different, and you'd have to, I mean, that's what my water line looks like, and it ends up not being. The fact that we're going door to door, we're trying to get into the homes and visually inspect them, I think that's the more appropriate time to be like, hey, do you realize you have a galvanized line? You have, I mean, is on a per resident basis when we have our guys there and we can identify what you have is probably does a little bit more. I know there's been some, there's been some stuff in the media here recently, the last couple of weeks. Rapid City is, and again, it's the timing that the EPA and the state's pushing it out. They've been running quite a bit of stuff in the media, on the news, about the lead and galvanized service lines. So certainly we sent out some information, some videos. We've put stuff on social media, on our Facebook page, explaining the differences. But really, house to house, I mean, you almost have to see what they have. Otherwise, you could give them a false sense of, hey, everything is okay. Or, like we had a gentleman come in the other day based on the information that we handed out, and he's going, oh my God, I can't drink the water. Well, that was not the case, and some of the information that was put out from the EPA would lead people to believe that. But again, based on his condition and his service lines, that was not the condition. So again, we don't want to necessarily panic people or give them the wrong information either. And so it's hard to put out mass information. I mean, we really got to it's got to be personalized to the home.
Those are good points, Rick.
Yeah.
You see that you don't want to have people be panicked about their water. Just a comment, social media, not everyone is on social media.
Right.
And so to put stuff out on social media, are there other ways that we communicate things?
We've ran it in our SIP, the Sturgis Information Publication, which goes out to every single resident or account holder within the city. We've ran stuff out through there as well.
Todd, this example, can you identify areas in the community that have had, say, it was constructed in 1940 and this area?
For sure. I mean, there's, the irony is that it's, just, any of the old areas have the potential, but I've dug up 3 lines side by side, 3 different houses. One was galvanized, one was copper, and one was plastic that was rigs. It wasn't very good plastic. So I cannot say definitively. I just know that there's areas that fit the time frame. So until we actually can get into a house to identify it, and speculative guessing isn't going to keep the EPA happy and keep us compliant. So with all the social media and any other way, another reason I brought this up is to anytime you talk to people, word of mouth is huge. That's the best sell I can simple as, all we need is the citizens of town to call us and schedule an appointment. We're in, we're done. You know, we can knock this down to 200 deliveries a year until we get things replaced. You know, so I emphasize this as our MEB leaders here to spread the word.
Okay, and you say we have how many outstanding and how many have we done, or again?
We have 1,272 notifications to hand deliver.
People that have not done that survey.
Yep, they're the unknowns, and the galvanized fits into there, right? I believe we were at 58 identified galvanized lines.
All right.
So, and we've been on this for a week when we got time. We're gaining, but like I said, this is every year, so we really need people to get on board. And with the door-to-door, we are getting a few people to let us do a survey, and then we don't have to visit them again. So, any other questions?
Oh, I'm sure I'll have some.
Thanks, Donnie.
Yeah, thank you.
Public Works Director report?
So, we're getting ready to finish up, it seems like a broken record on well 8. We do end up, we had to have we haven't yet, but we have it scheduled to have the pump pulled on that. We have to replace some valves. We're getting some leak by in them, and so we have to pull them out, and likely they got damaged when we drilled that well. We had so much fractured material in there, and when those pieces of rock and whatnot come up through there, they damage the flappers. So we have to pull that well. We've got some problems going on with the transducer, so again, the only way we can do that is get that well pulled. We've got it scheduled. They're supposed to be mobbing in this week. It probably, with the holidays, I mean, it'll take them 3 or 4 days to get it pulled, get all of the valves replaced, and get it put back in so that we can get that into production. The downside to that is until we get all of that done, there's certain other parameters within the well itself that we can't really do till we have it fully functioning and everything is working correctly, as far as setting up all of the automation in it and the SCADA. And I mean, having one problem creates 4 more. So again, that's our big push right now, is to get that well pulled, get those valves replaced, get everything put back in, and then we'll get that up and running and get that project closed out. For the most part, we're pretty close to being done with everything else. So hopefully we will, weather will hold out, and we'll be able to get that done. The new subdivision on Avalanche, all of those water mains on phase 1 were installed, and the service lines were stubbed out. They've actually got their paving in, so they're really closing up probably for the winter. The next big push we have is to do a detour through the new subdivision. They'll be looking at making some connections, and if you remember, Avalanche will go to a curb and gutter and a 3-lane roadway, so they're making those improvements. So we'll have a bit of a time where we have to detour around that big corner, and they'll detour through the subdivision. So we expect that to happen over the winter. Also, we're happy to announce that we have a tentative offer to Brady Hansen, be a new water operator, which will fill us back up. Brady comes to us with a lot of wealth of knowledge, was a former operator in the city of Spearfish, has recently moved to Sturgis. The past few years, he's been working as a plumber, so he is eligible actually, and he'll start December 1st, and second week of December, he's going to go down and test to get reinstated for his certifications. Generally, we don't see people come to us that have the ability to either have the certifications or can get them that quickly. So we're excited to have him on board, and that will really help us getting some of these more routine things done. We really struggle when we only have 2 operators and one calls in sick or one's on vacation. It is hard to get our normal day-to-day operations done, especially if we don't know about it in advance, and Todd may have something scheduled and then somebody calls in sick. It really puts a wrench into what we have to do, and we have to kind of shuffle around, or use other people from different departments to help us out. So it'll be nice to have a little bit more depth back in the water department for sure. Lastly, the council did finalize the 2026 budget. We've held our second reading on that last Monday, so that's pretty well finalized. I don't have any concerns right now on where we landed in the water budget, being that it's an enterprise fund. You know, we didn't have to cut as much as some of the general fund departments. We are making some transfers to general fund, but all within our means, and everything's looking up where we're gonna hit our restricted funds, our projected surcharge amounts. So yeah, any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Sounds good. So what we had talked about over several meetings, the council approved that concept?
So the rate structure will happen, that's generally the first meeting in January. The council has to adopt by resolution a rate structure, and it's not only utility rates, it's all the city rates. But yes, that is what the revenues projected in the 2026 budget were based off of, them adopting those rates. So the rates haven't actually been adopted yet, but the budget and the revenues that would align with those are, and then the first meeting in January, the council will actually take formal action to adopt the rates.
And you can tell financially that that's gonna be a good move. Yeah. And your software now can keep track of these changes?
Oh, yes. Yes. Anything else, Rick?
Nope.
Any old business? New business? Other matters that may come before the board? And no need for an executive session?
I make a motion
All
for
right,
us to
adjourn.